like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Ah, who we got here tonight?
Hey, people.
What's going on?
Hello, hello.
What a little lag. Oh, y'all are all over the country today.
Hey, Dr. Harrison Davis.
Hey, how are you, Chandra X?
Hey, today. Yeah. Ain't no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah. You better watch what happens. Miss Sandra.
Where's
the Bernard is out with doing basketball courts somewhere in the country with his Swanee Sports Academy. They set up basketball courts all across the country to look at the best players in the country.
cool.
You know, Tiffany won, so I don't know where Tiffany at the last couple of weeks. RG was not feeling well tonight, so we'll get with him a little bit later to check on him to see how he is. And Jamar went to Promised Land Farms to must be pull some weeds out of his it's Promised Land Farms is this big farm owned by a bunch of owned by two black brothers, older guys, and they let you rent space to plant. And Jamar has a whole 2 hours, I believe, where he can plant whatever he wants to plant there.
I see.
Well, this is just between you and I, y'all and I. What? Y'all sure that Jamal spent a lot of time in the farm, and I just want to know: is Jamal just planting vegetables, or does he have something else hidden back there on one of his piles? I'm just saying.
So you want to know whether he got some illegal plants back there or something?
No, it's not illegal. It's plants from the motherland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
does he have plants from the motherland? Out there serving the people.
Oh, okay. Well, Jamar answered that question. He'll probably pop on after a while when he gets to the Promised Land. It's going to take him a minute to get there. I don't know why he tried to go out there this late. The traffic is backed up coming into Port Wentworth. I
don't know how hot it is over there, but I can tell you how hot it is over here in Houston. It's disrespectful heat. So
it rained a whole lot here today, so it's not as hot. We got about 6 or 7 subjects that we have keyed up. I got to get my producer to put the first one up if she knows what the first one is. It's about strawberries. So if the producer can find it, then we'll be good. So producer, see whether you can find that while I share the show. Okay. Well, the producer's she probably sleep, so it's down at the bottom. Health alert for strawberries. That's our first one. I'll give y'all the backstory on it.
Because I don't know anything about what's going on with strawberries.
Yeah,
what? You ain't been watching the news? Oh my God, people!
We'll talk about that later. I have to cut down on my news watching.
Oh yeah, should get your news right here. We finna give it to you.
Okay, please do.
A big batch of strawberries is causing people to get very sick with hepatitis A.
Ooh.
Hepatitis A. I don't know what's the problem.
Ooh.
Whether it's I really don't know. They haven't come up with a reason why. All they know is that the
Hepatitis. Ooh.
yeah, hepatitis A. I think that I don't really want any vegetable or fruits that I guess I need to peel them. You know, I need to get some canned fruit. I mean, canned vegetables, and I need to get my fruit. You know, if you get a banana, it's got a peeling. You got to open it. You got a apple. You can shave the peeling off. Or orange. You know, but with a strawberry, you eat the strawberry. You just eat the strawberry. But a lot of people don't wash their fruit and vegetables properly. You know, my wife she washes her watermelons off. You know, she washes everything. So yeah, but
there's
that's
a recall. I didn't know that. There's a recall for strawberries.
Correct. And they say if you've already eaten them, then you could still get sick. And the symptoms don't show up for 15 to 50 days later.
Yeah.
15 to 50 days.
The curious thing was that it was affecting more of the children than it was the adults.
Right.
Because there was
their immune system is not as good or something. I don't know, but you talking about hepatitis don't really matter about an immune system. I don't know. Or it could be, you know, some people's system will just wash it out. But some of the symptoms are tiredness, vomiting, nausea, stomach pains, dark urine, and pale stool.
Oof.
So, you know, that's part of the symptoms. So,
well, luckily, I just Googled it, and so far, 17 people came down with the illness, and they're all in California, North Dakota, and Minnesota.
Okay,
because the batch of it came from the West. The batch of it came from California, actually.
Okay, because there are strawberry patches here in Georgia, homegrown.
And Florida has some big ones because you see the strawberry trucks coming down. I got a friend that drives trucks, and he always delivering strawberries from Florida to Georgia. So just be careful
away from them.
Oh yeah, I am staying away from, you know, and that, you know, every time there's a health scare on something, you know, when they had mad cow, I don't eat pork. When they had the oysters, when the oysters was killing people a few years back, 2011 or 12, somewhere around there, a little bit earlier, and a bunch of people died out of New Orleans. Wow. But it was a bacteria inside the oysters. But right now, I don't eat oysters, you know. I mean, unless they're fried or something, you know, I might eat a fried oyster. But
You don't like raw oysters?
No, not going to eat them no more. I remember back in the day, you put that Tabasco sauce on, you slurp them up and drink your beer. No, not no more.
I still eat steamed oysters right off the half shell. I mean, I'm good. But you know, they had a recall on the lettuce and the bag salad. You know, I mean, it just tells you that we have to be extra careful with even the things that they say. You know, how on the greens bag and even on the lettuce bag, they say ready to eat. It's not ready to eat, people.
Right.
Wash your stuff.
Yeah, you gotta wash it or nuke it in the microwave. One, you know.
Yeah. Kill that bacteria, and then, you know, and then go on with life. But yeah.
Yeah, but the bad thing is you're talking about 15 to 50 days later. 15 to 50 days later. Something gonna get me sick. Let me know now.
That's almost a month and a half.
Yeah.
And I didn't read whether hepatitis A was contagious or not.
It's not contagious. It's not contagious. You can't, you know, like have sex with somebody and give it to them. But it's just, you know, It's just one of those things.
It's just adding to the anxiety, because I can imagine if somebody catches it, they're going to believe it's COVID symptoms, and people are still catching COVID. Now we got smallpox, monkeypox.
Yeah,
monkeypox. Yeah, so something new to worry about. So it's just another added
layer,
anxious situation that we have to be careful about. And,
Right.
it's covered in strawberries, of all things.
Yeah. Okay, producer, next subject. Oh, she got it. Boy, she bad. That's our producer in the back there. She's somewhere at a remote location in Hawaii somewhere running the show. That's Tiffany Jefferson. We appreciate
she's
Tiffany
doing
it. Now, this is an interesting story. Health alert for plastic surgery. Plastic surgery, especially in the Dominican Republic.
That's hot right now.
Yeah.
For the last few years.
Yeah. And we have a few people left Savannah in the last 5 years or so that have died from going over there and getting those plastic surgeries. I'll give you the backstory on this. A New York woman went to the Dominican Republic for plastic surgery on her butt and on her stomach. She ended up dying. She had a small stroke. Now, this is what kills me. She had a small stroke. Okay, they induced a coma and put her in a coma. They didn't have any way to contact her people. What kind of hospital was that? They didn't feel like
DR. This is the DR. This is why people go there.
That's right. To have anonymity.
So guess what they do? They bring her out of the coma so she can unlock her phone.
Yeah.
Just so she can unlock her phone, they bring her out of her coma so she can unlock the phone. She unlocked the phone. They call her husband. Let me put this thing on mute. They call her husband. He flies over there. So in the meantime, while he's flying over there, his wife dies from a massive stroke.
Oh, wow.
But while he's talking to her, he's not talking to her, he's talking to the doctors when they unlock her phone. He can hear his wife in the background in pain, complaining about her stomach hurt and her butt hurt. That's where she had the implant. That's where she had the plastic surgery at.
Yeah, she probably had a BBL done.
Yeah, something is wrong. Don't go over there. People try to get this off the regular way. Try to get it off with exercise and eating right and some yoga.
That would be nice. But let me just tell you, Julius, I don't know what things are like in Savannah, but in Atlanta, the young ladies, they like getting that BBL, Brazilian butt lift, getting the fat sucked out in all different places. And, I have a practice in Dunwoody, and several of my clients have flown down to DR, and I just have to ask, what's the big deal? It is like less than half the price to get it done in a DR than here in the United States. That's including, this is what a client told me, the flight down to DR. The hotel is next door to the clinic. It's a clinic, not a hospital. And all of that was less than half than going to someplace here. And but just one quick story. One of my clients, she had a BBL, some liposuction, and she went there with her girlfriend. I think she was around 30 years old. And she said she became scared because when they entered the clinic, everyone spoke Spanish.
Wow.
And my client and her best friend did not speak Spanish. So she had people working on her who she could not communicate with. Everything came up fine, and she's actually gone back there to do some more work. And I have some other clients who did the same thing, but that's the reason they go there. You know.
There's no way that I would allow anybody to do anything on me. You couldn't pull my tooth or clean my teeth if you couldn't speak my language.
I'm with you.
For any amount of money.
Harrison, go ahead, son. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I've had friends, ex-friends, that have even in the United States what they do is they shop around. If one plastic surgeon tells them, no, I cannot do your plastic surgery because of your medical history, they shop around until they find
somebody to say yes.
Somebody to say yes. And see, that is the dangerous part of all of this. And that's the reason why when you hear of these tragic stories, this is the reason why. You know, not only because of the money aspect, because you have women wanting to be quote unquote, you know, beautiful or whatever, you know, and at any expense. And that expense is a lot of times their life.
Yeah, don't forget, some of them go to places, get work done by someone who's not a medical physician. You know, I've heard those stories, and I think the singer K. Michelle did a documentary on it with women had holes, little holes in their butts, you know, and in their chest where they had I don't know what it's called, breast augmentation.
Yeah.
And so it's dangerous. They don't even go to a medical personnel. So why wouldn't they go down to DR, you know, spend a little bit of time on the beach, you know, go to a clinic, you know, where people don't speak Spanish, you know, so that's a risk that a lot of people are willing to take. And it's more than the women. There are men who are doing it too. Yep.
And I was going to risk it by just going down to Miami. Hell, they don't speak Spanish. I mean, they don't speak English down there, half of them, you know, but I was going
to. A lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people do go to Miami to get theirs done too.
Yeah. I was going to go to Miami.
But Harrison, I heard that ain't the only thing that's half price.
What? Tell me offline. What else is half price there?
In the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, there's lots of stories about the DR. Yes, lots of stories.
Yeah,
lots of guys like to take trips there.
I got to Google it. I need to know what else is half price over there.
I don't know what things are like now, but before the pandemic, lots of guys used to go down to DR in groups, and you can get whatever you want.
Oh,
they still do. Tiffany said you get what you pay for. And you do, you got to have doctors here because some people can't take the lowering of your blood pressure when they put you on anesthetics, or if they give you something to numb the pain. Well, the anesthetics is to numb the pain, but they give you something else. It might be they already given to you half price. They might have watered it down. It might not be working properly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can't trust that you're going to get.
It's a lot of risk for doing it, but a lot of women are doing it.
Yeah, you can't trust going down there and getting that done. No, I don't see it. Get it off the old-fashioned way. Get some on Weight Watchers. Start exercising. Go to the gym, and eat right. You know, just you got a better chance of living a little bit longer. We all got our demons and our habits that one of mine's is sugar. One of the things I shouldn't be eating a lot is rice. And I'm a rice fool and I'm almost like a sugar fool. So we got our demons that we messing with.
Or
go ahead.
Save your tax money. That's a tax money type, thing. Save your tax money, and you can get your whole thing done for like $10,000, $12,000. So if it's something that you really want to do,
I agree with you. Get it done, but do it safely.
Get it done. I'm not saying don't get it done because I'm all for people enhancing themselves. If that's what you want to do that.
It's like getting your teeth fixed.
Like Ivan say, listen to Natural as F on Our Black Media. Listen, he tell you be natural. And Sandra, you sound like you are an authority on this a little bit, don't she, Harrison? It sounds like she knows something, So I remember when you had a flat butt. Then a few months.
No, you never remember me with a flat butt, honey.
Oh,
Never in my life have I had one. I've
Oh.
always been blessed by the gods. And they
if I could just add something, you were talking, Julius, about losing the weight the natural way, and the clients who I remember, they wanted to get some fat off, but they had fat injected into their butt, so they wanted the butt to be larger, and I don't know how you can do that naturally. And one of them, I mean, her butt was huge when she came back, and she loved it. So one day you should have a show on body image, within the Black community, particularly the 20-something-year-old Black women, and this desire. I mean, you can walk around downtown Atlanta, Buckhead, and see people with bodies. You can tell it's not natural. A nice little skinny waist, and then all of a sudden this huge balloon, in their jeans, or their tights, their leggings. And that is something that a lot of women want. And apparently a lot of men are appreciating that.
Well, I mean, some people didn't get it naturally,
But when you're born with it, it looks natural. You just got a big butt.
Yes. That's it.
But there are women out there. I mean, it literally looks like there's a balloon, 2 balloons in their butt.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian was one of them. Her legs were skinny, and then it was this huge, like butterball turkey.
You mean that wasn't natural on Kim?
And you have to wonder how they're going to age.
Yeah, look at her now, Julius. Yeah. So something has happened where her butt isn't as large.
Yeah, she probably got it shrunk down. Because she realized that she did too much. But she got the money. Yeah. To do it.
She can do it here. She can go to a safe place here to do it.
Correct. But Julius, in speaking, back in 2000, I had a gastric bypass. Because I had I went on birth control way back in the early 90s, and this particular birth control, it caused me to gain like 90 to 100 pounds. Wow. It was when they were putting those things in your arm. Mm-hmm. So I was like over 200 and probably about 50 pounds, 270, somewhere up in there. So wow. I had one of the first gastric bypass that was done in Savannah. And so yes, that's what I wanted to do. I needed to do it because I was not used to being a size 24.
But thank God you didn't know anything about this.
Yeah. I was a size 24. I'm a size 10, 12 now. So
thank God you didn't go to the Dominican Republic.
Absolutely.
Because I almost died right there in Savannah.
I haven't said he heard of a program where Coach Carter called it diaper butts.
Yeah, you should see it. I'm not kidding. It looks like something stuffed in their pants.
I haven't said that what you had in your arm was a Nor plant.
Yeah, Nor plant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were popular.
Ivan is very, very, very. He's our encyclopedia.
Yes,
I see.
Ivan just knows stuff that that you don't figure a guy to know. But hey, I'm all everything.
In for it. He's a walking encyclopedia. Okay, producer, next subject. Okay, when did Williams put in financial guardianship? Have y'all heard about this?
Yeah, I heard about it.
I know a little bit about it when she was sick and ill, when the show was on hiatus. I'm not clear about what she was diagnosed with, but something about the bank stopped her access to her money, her funds.
Right.
Someone had to be assigned as her guardian.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to give you the backstory. And Wendy Williams is still suffering from, she's in the hospital or some treatment program, suffering from an unknown ailment that we don't know. They say it's thyroid as something, but we don't know what it is. Some people think it's drugs. But while she was in there, she was using money, and one of the people at Wells Fargo wants to get in her business, and she fired him. the person at Wells Fargo, the branch manager or whoever was keeping up with her money. That person reported her, and then next thing you know, they have a guardianship over her money. They took her to court, and the courts took over. Now, was Wells Fargo wrong? I would think that I wish they would have did that to me. Then I wouldn't be in the debt that I'm in. They should have stopped me. You stopping Wendy Williams. Let that woman spend her money. She got plenty of it. They should have stopped me with the credit card.
No, Jew, it was more to it than that.
It has to be. It has to be.
That some other people were spending Wendy's money.
Right.
That's what was going on in the behind the scenes thing. Other people, her child, her ex-husband, they were just wilding out like sailors on spring break with her money. And Wells Fargo, even though they've had their issues in the past, they will, if they see some suspicious activity on your account, no matter who you are, they're going to, look into it.
Now that makes sense, because I was sitting here thinking about it. I didn't know the bank had the authority to stop you from accessing your money. I mean, you are you can prove you are who you are. But if the bank was suspicious about some activities with her funds and worried about someone else gaining access to it and misusing the funds, then I can see them trying to protect her. I just don't know all the details, but that makes a lot of sense, Chandra, what you just said.
And I suspect that Wendy Williams, I saw this interview that she did. She didn't know her birth date. She didn't know a lot of things.
Yeah.
I suspect that Wendy Williams has all of the symptoms, because I've been in healthcare pretty much all my life, except up to now. But she has the classic symptoms of early onset Alzheimer's. And it's sad.
She's not that old, is she?
She's not that old, but I have a friend. He is 55 years old. Early onset Alzheimer's can set in at the age of 50.
Okay. But
you're talking about the interview with Fat Joe. I just pulled it up.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are commenting about her behavior on the show, on the interview.
A lot of people, when Wendy started acting up a few years ago, falling out and fainting one time, they say she was on drugs.
But she went to a rehab. I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess they were thinking that they don't want her to spend all of her money up, so they'll take control of it, and they'll Wells Fargo, after she fired them, they want to report her. But still, I think if it's your money, you should be able to spend it.
I agree.
When you go in front of a judge and you tell the judge, "Hey, Your Honor, that's my money."
But apparently the courts apparently the courts assigned someone to to what was it called, to operate,
to be her guardianship,
to be a guardian,
and it's definitely not somebody at Wells Fargo.
No.
See, but when you put a guardian ad litem on a case, they get money for doing that. The courts charge you. It's really a racket. They take a whole lot of property from Black people because of how they do this with the guardian ad litem. I know, because I'm a victim of it. So the guardian ad litem is nothing good for people going into that system.
So it's not a family member?
Well, see, if that's what I was about to say, Doc.
No.
Had it been a family member, and a family member could easily go in, one that's not money hungry, one that's not money hungry, they could go in and they could be the guardian.
Well, they did the Britney Spears also, like Tiffany said. They did the Britney Spears, but Britney Spears' mother and father were raising her since she was a teenager. They knew that she was out wacko, something was wrong, and she was being on drugs. But you shouldn't have the right to tell her how to spend the money. Most times those are law firms. They don't appoint no no family member no more like in the old days. It's
Okay.
a law firm. It's a guardian ad litem. And it's a law firm, and they usually hooked up and corrupt with the judges. The judges, and it's usually the guardian ad litem. They'll assign the guardian ad litem to take control of your finances.
Yeah, I think there was a movie like that on Netflix.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but I have a cousin, his sister, my other cousin, she's his guardian because of health reasons for that. So I just assume, I don't know a lot about it.
Right.
I assume that they were going to make one of her relatives or someone that she trusts her guardian.
No,
Yeah.
but she don't trust none of them.
It's only a fee that they get per month. They get a fee per month for being the guardian. You know, so it's not like they can assign over to themselves whatever they want.
Well,
you know,
I'll give you a prime example. It happened to me here, and I lost $10,000 renovating my wife's family house. They kicked us out of the process and told us to cease and desist. I done $10,000 worth of work in the house. So then they took the house, sold the house instead of giving it to the child. They sold the house, gave each one of the kids less than $5,000 each. Well, they gave each one of the kids $2,500 each.
I've heard of that.
Sold the house to, I would assume, is their buddies, the real estate company that came in and did all the little stuff. Now the house sold. We only owe $57,000 on the house. Now they done kick us out. We can't have nothing else to do with it. Then they kick the house just sold for $180,000.
But see,
from renovations I did.
Yeah,
the family's out of they don't get the money.
But Julian, they count on uneducated Black people to be uneducated. So wait. So that's how they were able to do that, because anybody that had interest in that house, any of the heirs in that house, could have challenged the selling of that property.
We had a lawyer and everything. The courts do what they want to do, okay? The courts do what they want to do. We had a lawyer, paid that lawyer, everything. The court still ruled against us. They got another case where you don't think it's bad. Here it is, the house on 36 and God, I can't think of the people's name. Some famous people, not famous, but some people that had a museum, the Kaya Museum. The Kaya Museum on 36 and MLK in Savannah, Georgia. The guardian ad litem for that place just sold the house to the Historic Foundation. You know, this shit crooked. This shit's crooked. It's crooked. I mean, you can't get no more crooked than this. They just sold it to the Kaya Museum, and the Kaya Museum, I guarantee you, they'll never renovate that property. They'll never renovate that property, and the Savannah Historic Society will probably sell that property for $200,000 or $300,000 when they only got it for 50, 30 or 40 or 50, something like that. I forgot what the paperwork is. They brought it for nothing. They'll end up selling it for a few $100,000. I guarantee you.
Well, see, this is a case where the people of Chatham County has to challenge the probate judge and start pushing for them to be more transparent, because obviously there's a corruption ring.
Sounds like it
on in Chatham County's. I mean, Chatham County is just a corrupt county as it is. You know, point blank.
They're not the only ones.
Yeah, no, they're not the only ones.
It's all over the country.
159 counties in Georgia. So, I mean, you know, that's that part. But they need to challenge the probate court judge, you know, and have them to be more transparent in what they do, because they should not be able to sell specifically African American people's assets.
That's
property.
what they do, though. They do that, and the thing is, they do that. They come in and they knew what they were doing. We only owe 57. Well, not we. The family only owed $57,000 on this house. So why not let the family keep it? So that the little child, if you really cared, work it out where the little child will be confiscated. You gave the child $2,500 damn dollars. You sold the house to the real estate company. The real estate company sold the house for $187,000. This thing ain't fair.
No.
Sounds like a racket.
That's a racket.
Yeah, that's just like the movie. I just found it. I Care a Lot on Netflix with Rosamund Pike. That was a good movie, and it was all a racket. And she had a little setup, her character, and went in, and fooled the old people, and next thing you know, she owned the home, she sold it, and all the items, within the house. So I thought it was fiction, but it sounds like it's real.
It's real. Look at Ivan said, doggone shame with that sweat equity and Julie's got no tax. That's the only way I was able to get anything back off it, Ivan. I had to write it off as a real estate loss for this year, but not this year, but a couple of years ago. And it's crazy. Another day in Cheatham County, and that's what they do here. These people are so corrupt, it's a shame. And I hope they hear it and won't ask me why I said it, because I want it to go to court again. I need it somewhere where they could, it's just a racket,
Yeah.
Sounds like it is.
But until you guys have more people that are not just willing to fold them and say, oh, well, this is the way they are here, and say, no, I'm going to challenge this.
Well,
and even
you
if
got the challenge, but you got scary lawyers, Sandra. You got scary lawyers who aren't going to do anything and challenge these judges when they make a ruling, because they got to appear before these judges every day. You can say what you want to say. It don't work that way, okay?
I understand, but you have to take it in the front of public opinion a lot of times in order to have things change. Because
that
if
is
you
absolutely
stand
correct.
outside that court and you go to places like CNN, MSNBC, and take it outside of Chatham County and expose the corruption, then you will get satisfaction.
Sandra, they have the laws written so it works in their behalf. Let me explain something to you. The only way to change that is by changing the people. Okay? We have to vote these people out of office. The same law firm has probably had that to be the guardian ad litem, all their lawyers all the way down. The same law firm has been in place for probably 40 years.
So here's what I'm thinking. I don't know a whole lot about this, but to be proactive, you got to find out when Black families own property, for generations. And I'm thinking about my mom's, where she grew up, and her dad owns the property. You got to put other people's names on, and the property is fully owned. But when people die, you got to make sure that someone else's name is on it. So I know that's something that my mom's side of the family, as some of her siblings are now beginning to pass away, and then the nieces and nephews are now going onto the deed of the home, just to make sure that we're still part of the ownership. Now, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I think that would be helpful. We can get more Black folks to practice that, getting some of your other relatives on the deed. Chandra, you know anything about that? Because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. It's called quick deeds. And before you die, instead of, having all 12 of your kids, which creates heirs property and a mess, you just give it to one. Yeah. Leave it to one person.
Or two. Yep.
Or two.
No, one is best.
One is best. And if we could get Black people to understand, don't sell your parents' property. But I don't care where it's located in that county. Don't sell it. And parents, get your stuff in order. You are going to die one day. You're going to die one day. So leave it to the most responsible child. Don't leave it to the one that, you know, well,
likes
you
to drink.
feel sorry. Yeah, you feel sorry for him because ain't nothing never happened for Pookie.
Yeah, and that's the youngest one.
Yeah. Don't leave it to Pookie.
You can leave it to nieces and nephews too.
Yeah. Dad, leave it to the most responsible child or lineage that you have so that it can stay in the family.
Yes, because there are people. There are people.
Trust.
You can have a living trust. Yeah, but I was about to say there are people out there who are just waiting. For those older Black folks in rural areas, like where my mom's from, they're just waiting for them to die, and no one's paid the property tax, tax on it for a couple of years. They're just waiting on it.
Yeah,
and they see the letters all day on
the court. They are sitting on that court front step, waiting for it to go on auction, and they buying them houses for not even $10,000.
And I got a call yesterday saying that somebody that was at the auction saying that all the houses on the auction, 90% of them was in West Savannah. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But we're gonna go on to the next subject because we done spent a lot of time on this. Trump still not paying it. Is that the next one? Yeah, we'll go to that one anyway. I think I missed one when I was doing it, when I was typing it up this morning. Trump still not paying his debts.
Lock him up.
Trump still not paying his debts. The backstory on this, y'all don't want this. Trump went to Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis, Tennessee City Council say, we're not sending you no security and paying for it, and we got to pay these officers because you don't like to pay your bills. So they refuse to provide Trump with security, extra security.
Is this after his presidency or during?
This the other day.
The other day.
Oh.
I mean, and this is a Republican city. I mean, Republican state that said, oh, hell no.
They already know that whenever he leave events, he never pays his bills. And then you got to darn near sue him to get your money from him. So this is what happened. And that's why they did that with Trump.
Well, I totally agree with them because the citizens of that city should not have to pick up his carnivals that he brings to town, you know.
Well, it sounds like the city council people are protecting the city. You know, that's their job. You know, whether or not they voted for Trump or not, he has a track record because he's done this before. But I don't blame him. I didn't know anything about it. I just Googled it. But it sounds like they made a great decision.
I mean, this is
That's
a great
called
guy.
mitigating the risk.
I'll make them pay up front.
I don't know how they could do it to such a great guy, though. You know, Trump is an awesome, fantastic guy. He's a womanizer. He's a racist. He's a clown. You know, he don't pay his bills. He don't pay taxes. So how could they do that to Trump? You know,
he's a bully. He's not faithful to his friends. He will turn on anybody
in a minute. So, you know, I don't understand how they can do it to him.
He will fire anybody.
But you know, the bad part is that they'll be nominating this idiot to be president again. You know,
I think
that's
the
bad part.
I think they will. He's going to be the Republican nominee.
And
do y'all really think that he's going to be the Republican nominee? Because the signs is pointing towards somebody coming in.
Who?
It's going to be somebody else.
It's already midterms.
Yeah, but it's going to be somebody else that's going to come in, and they are going to challenge him.
Marco or Ted Cruz. I wish it's Ted Cruz. Because I want Trump to
Ted Cruz is an idiot. He's a clown.
But I want Trump to tear him up again, and he needs to be told.
Ted Cruz don't have the balls.
I agree. To let that man criticize his wife in public, and the next thing you know, Ted Cruz was endorsing Trump.
Exactly. Yeah. Ted Cruz is the prostitute of the Republican Republican Party. He will say anything. He will get on his knees literally in public and do some things for some check.
I don't know if y'all have seen the movie Hustle and Flow, but he's the bottom hoe.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Julius, just in case you were wondering what that subject was that we skipped, it was the Republican donors that were
I'm gonna get it back in because 8:30 we got to be through with our subjects. So because Kesha, we have a special guest, Kesha Gibson Carter. So we got 30 minutes to do our next three subjects. 30 minutes, 35 minutes to do our next three subjects. And the next subject will be, we'll go back to that right now. We finished with Trump. Everybody finished with Trump? Because I was
Trump seems to be years ago
above the law, and we are below the law because they don't want to do anything to this idiot except for Latricia Jones. What's her name? Latricia Jones in New York. That's her last name, Jones. The district attorney general in New York. She's the only one that has the balls to do anything with Trump.
Well, he's on the investigation in Georgia too for election tampering.
Oh well,
Fulton County.
Yeah, they're not going to do that with him here.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, they had a grand jury. I mean, they're moving forward with it.
Yeah, the grand jury. I think that if they come back with a
grand jury, supposed to be secret. How y'all know about it?
I think they
because they've had it on TV that it has gone to the grand jury. I mean, come on now.
Okay, let's talk on these next two subjects real quick. Big donors pulling out in Texas. Big donors pulling out in Texas because of all of gun violence and in Texas, right there near Sandra. The big donors, Republican donors, are pulling out of giving funds to the Republicans in Texas because they won't get the gun laws right. And so I think that needs to happen all over the country. Stop giving these people because they don't care. What they're playing on is us because they see that we're not protesting enough, that we're not rioting or anything. So they say they don't care.
Yeah.
So
we're
they
not
do what
consistent.
they want to do.
We're not consistent after the cameras go away from that city. Y'all see how quickly after the kids were, God bless them, the kids were shot up in Uvalde. You see how quickly Buffalo went out the news before we could even bury those 10 Black people.
Yep.
It was just like, oh, never mind, false alarm, whatever. And then these 21, people in Uvalde, and God, I mean, it was a blessing that they were children because it wouldn't have been in the media this long had they not been children.
Yeah, but the question is, what type of power does the media have? Remember Sandy Hook, and nothing came of that. No legislation was passed. No new gun laws. So I don't know anything about the Republican donors in Texas. I question, their motives. I think they don't want to be associated right now. It's a PR thing. They don't want to be associated, with politicians who refuse to do anything right now. But I'm only speculating. I really don't know a whole lot about it. But you're right, Sean. I'm right with you. We are inconsistent. After we become outraged when somebody else hurts us, and then we will go to the streets, we will hit social media for a little bit. Then after a while, it actually cools down.
Yeah.
But you don't see that outrage when we hurt us.
Yeah.
When that shooter happens to be Black. He's driving by a club and he's mad at somebody and he starts spraying the people who are in line. We don't get outraged about that. So that was my little 2 cents on that.
Yep. And I think that we should be hurt about it all. Mm-hmm. I think that
absolutely
we should have been still in the face of the Capitol ever since that little straggly white boy sat in that church praying and shot up them prayers. the parishioners, then we should have been very upset then, but we should have been more upset in the last few years. Chicago is a killing field. Houston, I refuse to go out on the streets of Houston. I mean, because I could easily be a number.
Yeah.
We are up to 286 bodies, and that's
already
the deaths. Okay, already in the year.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me share.
Okay. Okay. Well, my thing is the Democrats are not pushing hard enough on message. They are not. They're so weak. It's a damn shame.
Now the Democrats are consistent. to continue using that term, they are consistent.
It's almost like they're selling us out on purpose or something. You know?
Yeah.
They don't know how to fight. Understand. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to show up. They don't know how to use tactics.
Stop, y'all. Stop it.
They want to shame. They don't want to shame people to do something that's right when they don't care. Mm-hmm. That's the same old Democratic strategy playbook, and they're going to stick to it.
They trying to do the Michelle Obama way. We go high when they go low. All of that foolishness
and get nothing done.
And getting nothing done. And God bless her. I love Michelle.
Well, I'm gonna get the. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give the Democrats an idea of what they need to do, and they really need, because there's nobody with no vision on that side. In leadership, you got some people that's not in leadership with the vision, but it takes leadership to do what I'm about to say. Back in the day, Newt Gingrich and the rest of them came up with the contract with America.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it was a ghost pass through your thing just now. There's nothing wrong with the Democrats coming up with their own new contract with America. Still out there. I mean, it don't belong to the Republicans. Come up with your contract with the American people, because you are losing. You're losing this war.
Yeah, but they're going to have to fight for it, and they're going to have to attack the people who are opposing whatever that contract is. And I don't see Democrats doing that at all. Mm-hmm. They're showing up at a gunfight holding a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
And then they get mad when they get shot.
Yeah. And it's not even a kitchen knife, it's a butter knife.
Yes.
Yeah.
A butter knife and a speech.
It ain't really a butter knife. It's one of them ones that come in a little plastic wrapper butter knife.
Yeah. They're just not prepared. They don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to strategize. They don't know how to attack, but they will go on and try to shame people to do something that they will never do.
Because they're not using their platforms properly. They're not. They're not messaging correctly. They're not getting the word out. They're not using the text messages to send it to you. They're not using the emails to send it to you. They're not using direct mailing to send it to you. And they're not using these social media platforms to send you this information. And they're failing.
Yeah, if I can add something real quick, some of their strategies, some of us are a little bit puzzled about. You know, here in Atlanta, I've got a new mayor. He's cool. You know, he's from Southwest Atlanta, Andre. And one of the things, strategies he came up to try to fight crime is to create these midnight basketball leagues.
But that's not a new strategy. He's just bringing back something old.
Well, that's back to Savannah now.
That's the plan to fight crime, is to put money into these guys playing basketball at night. And I guess I'm missing the point here, because the rest of the people are just tired of them holding up people at the gas stations and the little shootouts at the malls and the plaza. You know, why can't we get them a job? Why can't we enforce the laws that we have? You know, some vocational training. You know, some of us are looking at this Democratic liberal strategy and going, what are you doing?
And Doc, I'm right there with you, because first of all, that's something that we did back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. We
back
had
in Atlanta.
them just busy playing basketball or whatever, the midnight thing was.
Yeah.
But it is my personal experience that if you have a job, a job, you don't have time to rob people at night because you sleeping or you working.
Yeah, I was like, these 17, 18-year-olds, why are they out at night playing basketball? And that's supposed to stop them from, engaging in criminal activity.
They gonna leave right from that damn basketball court and go and hold up somebody after they leave.
Get a job. That's an example of a Democratic liberal strategy that some of us look at and we just a little bit puzzled by it. You're going to put money and resources into that. You got to have a rec center. You got to hire people to run it. It's got to stay open all night. You got to hire people to be there for some hoodlums to play basketball.
When you could have that same center open and you can teach them how to weld. You could teach them how to, you could teach them vocational training all night.
Yeah.
And then after 9 to 12 weeks, you can help them get a job.
Yep.
And then guess what? They'll have higher paying jobs than working at McDonald's, these entry level things. You could get them with so many people retiring out of the aeronautics, aerospace, fixing planes and flying planes.
Aviation mechanics.
You could get them into a program like that overnight.
Yeah. We need drivers, to get your
we need drivers. So many things. Democrats, please listen to us. I've been doing this thing for 20-some years. And what you're doing now, this is stupid.
Yeah, but Julius, that's their contract with us. Spend the money that we pay in our taxes for something like that. What about the people who go to work?
The money is reserved for the big candidates. That's all they want to spend on is the big candidates. That's what the money is reserved for, and it's wrong. I done said I'm not doing anything for free no more. You can cut that out. I'm not calling your name. I mean, I might mention it because it's a part of the news, but I'm not giving you nothing. You ain't paying me. I'm not doing nothing because you're paying everybody else.
Yeah, but the question is, where's that strategic, effective strategy from the Democrats? That's the question that I have. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah,
they don't have it.
And when Republicans attack you, you need to attack back because they got some stuff that you can shine a light on, but they're not doing it.
They don't understand. Social media is about 25% of the electorate now, probably a little bit more. And then you got all the other types of ways to contact people. If you're not doing this and being on message with people and keeping their attention and getting them engaged, then you lose. The Republicans are very good at it. They came out in record numbers in the primary this time. So imagine what they're trying to do coming up.
Yeah.
So we got to be able to be ready for that in November. So we got a runoffs in a couple of days. Anyway, this is our next subject.
Last point. The Republicans are consistent and reliable.
Correct.
Democrats are inconsistent and unreliable.
That is absolutely
the last
correct.
Point.
They want to hold their money and they want to spend it with all the wrong people. But keep on. You'll see where it's gonna get you. How dumb is Herschel Walker?
Oh, that's a great question.
We're gonna take 5 minutes and let y'all look at this here. I'm gonna play this
show me
video.
1 minute.
You don't even have to show the video. I already know.
No, we're gonna let you show see 1 minute. Video. And I only got one. It's two that Warnock got out with Herschel Walker talking
that's a
about
good commercial.
The spray that will cure you from COVID when you walk in and when you walk out the door.
Yeah.
And Herschel said they don't want to talk about it. But listen to this. It's about 5 minutes long. I'm gonna let y'all so y'all
just play 1 minute because we got to talk about it.
Yeah, huh?
Just show 1 minute of the video because that's enough.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to get all of it because you won't hear the whole.
All right,
play it.
I've had enough of Herschel, but go ahead.
Me too.
Let me see, where is it at?
You should have had that already tuned up, Jew.
I did, and I don't see it.
No.
You put it in. Oh, okay, I see it.
You found it. Okay, I was going to comment on it.
He put it in earlier.
Okay,
I was in overlays, and I should be in video.
See, that is a person wielding that weapon. You know, Cain killed Abel. You know, and that's the problem that we have. And I said, what we need to do is look into how we can stop those things. You know, he talked about doing a disinformation. What about getting a department that can look at young men that's looking at women that looking at just social media? What about doing that, looking into things like that, and we can stop that way? But yet they want to just continue to talk about taking away your constitutional rights. And I think there's more things we need to look into. This has been happening for years, and the way we stop it, by putting money into the mental health field, by putting money into other departments rather than departments that want to take away your rights.
Hey, Bonner Roger with CNN. I know. Are you supporting any new gun laws in the wake of this Texas shooting?
Do what now?
Do you support new gun laws in the wake of this Texas shooting?
What I like to do is see it and everything and stuff. I like to see it and everything. A favorite New Jersey trip?
What? Okay, so this is Herschel Walker. He is the guy who Republicans nominated to send to the United States Senate. I wouldn't nominate this guy to give a toast at a birthday party. I'm sorry, but have Republicans heard him speak? Do qualifications or, I don't know, basic communication abilities count for anything? Yeah, I think I just answered my own question. So I'm going to try to dig into what Walker said here. First of all, in response to the latest shooting in Uvalde, Texas, his suggestion is that we create, and I'm quoting here, a department that can look at young men, that's looking at women, that's looking at social media. I don't think that's going to cut it. I don't think that department is going to do the trick. I don't know what he's talking about, and at this point, I'm pretty sure that even if I did know what he was talking about, I'd have even less confidence in this plan. He eventually goes on to surface the usual Republican pivot points of, well, let's just invest in mental health, which sounds nice, but find me a Republican who doesn't then just turn around and try to slash funding for mental health. While Trump was president, he proposed slashing almost $1.5 trillion from Medicaid spending, which covers a quarter of Americans with mental illness. Rick Scott's plan, released just this past month, calls for allowing Medicaid to disappear altogether. And if you think they'll just renew it, then you haven't heard a word of what Mitch McConnell and the GOP have been saying for the last decade. Greg Abbott only days ago parroted this exact claim that the state needs to, quote, do a better job with mental health. And yet he also slashed $211 million from the department that oversees mental health programs. In fact, here's a map showing access to mental health care in the country, with the states with the worst access showing up as the darkest states. Notice anything? Of the 25 states with the worst access, 21 of them voted for Trump in the last election. So for all those Republicans who love to pretend that they're ready to invest in mental health, what is stopping you? And finally, one last quote from Walker because this is hurting my soul. When CNN's Manu Raju asks him if he'd support any new gun laws, Walker says, quote, what I'd like to do is see it and everything and stuff. So I guess Americans have that to look forward to. And everything and stuff. And look, it's easy to make fun here, but I hope you recognize that when you look at the polls, Herschel Walker is actually leading Raphael Warnock in Georgia in most of those polls. There is actual danger of this guy getting elected to the Senate. I'm less concerned about the notion that he'll embarrass the GOP because, frankly, they are beyond capable of shame or embarrassment. What I'm concerned about is that he'll serve to further entrench the Republican position of doing absolutely nothing in the face of this endless barrage of mass shootings. He may give a bunch of empty policy proposals that, forget about having any chance of being enacted, are quite literally unintelligible. These people see these shootings, see people getting slaughtered in schools and grocery stores and movie theaters and concerts and churches and nightclubs, and their response is to maintain the status quo. Their response is to do absolutely nothing and to hope you forget so that they can keep cashing those checks from the NRA. Those 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds who died in Texas, that is a sacrifice these Republicans are willing to make just so they can get reelected to another term with the help of gun lobby groups. Herschel Walker is part of that, a useless rubber stamp for a Republican machine that is intent on entrenching the outright worst and most dangerous elements of our society. So it may be easy to laugh at him, but I can promise you that the danger that he'd pose in the Senate is absolutely no joke. To see more videos like this, make sure to follow this page. And to support my work beyond that, check out my...
That's just terrible. He can't answer a question. He can't complete a sentence. He's incoherent in everything that he says. The guy's just a damn dummy.
So I think we're all in consensus with that. You know, that's not debatable. What we really need to look at is that Georgia Republican machine that put this guy there. Remember, he won the primary with some real high numbers, you know, because they realized Warnock is big. You know, he's polished. You know, he's doing well. You know, he's likable. I like his commercials. I know you guys criticized him one time, but his commercials, he's pulling the votes. So they found someone who they believe can compete with them because of the changing demographics of Georgia. And now the only reason these Republicans in the state are going to vote for him is because he's going to do what they tell him to do.
Exactly.
He's gonna be a puppet. That's why he's there. This guy who was just living in Texas a year ago.
You know, is Sandra.
And well, I'm going to tell you guys, as long as he shows the disrespect that the GOP has for Democrats and specifically African Americans.
I was about to say black folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Because they said, let's just find some Negro when they got him. You know, and they didn't even say it like this. You know, behind the doors, y'all know how they said it.
Yep,
you know, they just said, let's just get this retarded Negro and we're going to put him up there.
Oh my God.
And and these people, they're going to vote for him because, you know,
run.
Yeah, because they don't know no better.
But they're going to follow.
Yeah.
They're going to follow the party line. You know, the day before the election, I was listening to XM Radio, Urban View, whoever the morning show guy there, the big mouth guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. And they were all saying they hope Herschel Walker gets the GOP nomination in Georgia so that people can see how he is and they're going to vote for Warnock. And so, you know, you cannot underestimate the Republicans in this state. If
it rains, we some of us might not go out. If it's too cold, some of us might not go out. So you can't underestimate these people.
But they will.
They will.
They will. They're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him just because he has GOP. And I wouldn't care if you have a white man with a hood over his head. He is going to go and vote. Hold his nose because he's going to say, I ain't never voted for him. Never in my life.
But he will vote for the GOP agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what they're voting for. Yeah, that's what they're voting for.
And that's all he's going to do is vote because he Tim Scott and the rest of them will tell him what to do. He'll be he'll be led to the water because he don't know how to find it himself.
And he's convincing.
He won't even debate people.
Yeah, did you hear him talk? I mean, really?
How he going to debate?
Yeah.
Can you imagine him standing?
18-month-old doggone grandchild.
So if he won't debate you now, what do you think? If he give you his butt to kiss while he's not in office, what you think what he's going to do when he is in office?
Exactly what they tell him to do.
That you need him to do. He's not going to advocate for no black man, period, ever.
Yeah. But can you imagine him standing up against Warnock in a debate? I mean, really?
He's a disgrace to the black race.
If he does it, y'all please call me. Somebody call me.
Oh, they're going to have a debate. He's not going to get away with not debating Warnock.
He's not going to show up.
He's not going to.
You don't think you think he's going to avoid every debate?
Yes.
Well, we saw what happened to Purdue, when he tried that with Ossoff. He didn't show up to the last debate and some of the other debates, and Ossoff took it, and Purdue, he still lost against, Kemp, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I am concerned. The numbers don't lie.
Well, I wouldn't be sad. Herschel Walker, Tim Scott, and Clarence Thomas, all never mind.
I'll take Tim Scott over Herschel Walker.
Of course you take.
I mean, but did you hear him talk? Does he even understand policy, legislation?
No,
he don't understand nothing about
the branches of government.
And I'm wanting to say, okay, maybe he is this way because he took one too many hits, because they said that every time he get hit
before that.
But then he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to run for U.S. Senate. At least Tim Scott is coherent.
Yeah.
I'm still against his policies, but at least he's not this much of an embarrassment.
Did the University of Georgia just give him his grades?
Yes, because he was making that money for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did he graduate from UGA?
I don't think so. No.
He didn't graduate.
Sophomore year, didn't he?
I don't think he graduated, but as long as he was running that ball, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He brought millions of dollars to UGA, and he got them a championship. I remember those days. How about them dogs? I remember that.
Yeah.
All right,
man.
We got one subject with 9-10 minutes before Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter shows up, supposed to be.
Good, because I'm tired of talking about Herschel Walker.
Today's rappers dying too young. What happened in Atlanta with Trouble?
You're asking the wrong person. I have no idea.
Oh, I thought y'all knew the guy Trouble. He dating a lawyer up there. He's a young rapper out of Atlanta, 34 years old.
The one in Conyers. Yeah, I saw it on news. Well, when you turn on Atlanta local news, the first 10 minutes, all you hear about are shootings and murders.
That's everywhere. It's here.
That's well, and so I don't know which one was a rapper. They're all unfortunate. So I don't know if I can contribute to that. I just think
Well, let me give you the backstory. He was, and then we'll talk about whether it's an occupational hazard or not being a rapper. Evidently it is, because they're dying at such young ages. But he's a young rapper that they say gives a lot in the community. He's been on a lot of people's albums. But he was dating a lawyer there. I forgot her name. But at 3:00 the other morning, he was leaving another female's house at 3:20 in the morning, and somebody shot and killed him. Now, I thought you, being from Atlanta, you might have known or heard, the story of it, because
I don't know the details.
Yeah, well, I didn't call to get the rest of it.
Julius, that's not a hazard. That's not a hazard of being a rapper. That's a hazard these days of being a cheat.
Well, okay.
That's what that sounds like.
Okay, well, who killed the man? I mean, they looked.
Yeah, someone was arrested.
They got the guy who shot him. What did the guy shoot him for?
They don't know.
They said it was domestic.
Oh, okay. It's being a cheat. I mean, I promise you that the other woman had something to do with it. I mean,
Well, not the woman. You don't want to say the woman had.
Well, it might have been one of her cousins.
It might have been her ex-boyfriend.
Well, could have been that too.
The suspect is a 33-year-old Jermichael Johnson. He has been arrested. It was outside of Atlanta in Conyers, Rockdale County. And that's all the information I see.
Yeah.
But it is unfortunate. I am hearing a lot of, I have to read my news on the internet. But it does sound like a lot of these rappers are ending up in shootouts.
Well, they're beefing and dissing each other so bad that then the other one goes and shoot and kill the other one. It's just bad. I mean, hell, they stand a better chance over in Afghanistan in the war.
Well, because nobody likes to fight anymore. You know, I mean,
I agree with that.
They don't. I mean, because we used to lay them hands, you know, and after we lay them hands, you know, it was what it was.
It's over, and nobody went to the hospital.
Yeah, and nobody called the police. You know, we didn't do all that punk stuff. You know, calling the police and stuff. You know, you took it like a man or a woman. We drag you, and then, you know,
and everybody went home.
Yeah, everybody go home.
You had some bruises, but everybody went home.
But now, if you losing the fight, now you gonna run to your car, or you gonna call one of your partners. Man, I need you to bring a gun. Why?
Oh, they got it on them. They got it on them.
No question. Ain't no bring them. They got it.
You know,
all of them carry guns these days.
Yeah, I just think it's that young culture of, again, these young guys who happen to be brothers. They don't have a job. I don't know if they stopped going to school. They don't have anything to do. They're trying to make some money. They're finding new ways to make money. And it's a part of this culture, you know, that the mayor of Atlanta is trying to get them to play basketball in the middle of the night, you know, and this is just, you know, part of an automatic response, you know, instead of utilizing conflict management skills. You know, let me grab a gun. We just saw Will Smith do the same thing a little bit differently at the Oscars, you know, but these guys are just doing it in a different way. You know, they have a gun and it's a deadly slap. You know, I just see it part of a culture, and it's unfortunate, the younger Black folks. And I hope we can come up with some good solutions, you know. But I don't know anything about the rappers. I don't know if here's a thing I'm wondering. Are they rappers or are they doing something else? Drug dealers who have a side hustle as a rapper, because they talk about the drug deals within their lyrics of their songs. You know, so I'm just wondering, which one is it? Are they musical artists or are they drug dealers? It's just a thought. I don't know.
Well, that's a good thought.
That's a good thought, you know, but to me, a lot of them are wannabes, you know, because even back in the day when the Biggies and the Tupacs, you know, was rapping, Big Daddy Kane was not a street Negro.
I don't think any of them were. Any of them.
You know, he was not.
Biggie sold drugs at one time.
Yeah, Biggie did, and Tupac, his mom, you know, had a shattered background. Yeah. But I promise you, Big Daddy Kane was not a street guy.
Neither was LL Cool J.
And neither was LL Cool J. You know.
Yep.
I mean, but all of them thought to be, you know, that persona and to sell these records. Yeah. This is what you had to say on your rap. The only one that wasn't saying it, which is a real thug now, is Will Smith.
I don't know if I call Will Smith a thug, but
I'm just saying,
he's acting. You're right. He is acting like a thug. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you didn't, even though Tupac and Biggie was shouting from the audience, you didn't see none of them come up on that stage and do that.
True. That's true.
I'm just saying.
That's
Shoot.
True.
But Will said, "Oh, I'm gonna make this happen."
Yeah, he did. He did. And then went to the after parties. Won the award and went to the after parties.
And danced and said, "I dare you to check me."
Yep. Yeah, he did all that. And we see the same thing in the neighborhoods. You know, except it's not a slap. You know, somebody piss you off, you pick up a pistol and shoot at them.
Yeah.
And they don't care who gets the bullet.
Yep. You know, your mama, my mama, they grandma, nobody. They don't care anymore.
No. An 8-year-old kid, nope, sleeping in her bed and the bullet goes through the wall. They do not care.
I mean, but back then we did have a code of street honor. You know,
there was some decency.
Yes, we had decency even among criminals. You know, there were some things that we wasn't going to do. Even, I mean, because I was a fighter, you know, as much education as I have today, Doc, I was a fighter. And no matter what, I don't care if I was cussing somebody down and dragging them through the streets of Savannah, if an adult walked out their door and said, "Hey, y'all stop that," it was automatic stop that for me,
Well,
And
I went to high school and school K through 12 in Southwest Atlanta, Frederick Douglass High School, and there was never a day where I was concerned that someone brought a gun to school.
No,
not one day. Did we have some little thugs in the school? Yeah, there were a few, and then you're right. They used to fight. Somebody used to get some bruises, and and it was over with. But today, they got people selling bulletproof backpacks, and you got to be concerned about the security at the school and how individuals get in. Times have changed, so I don't know what's going on with the rappers. I actually think it goes beyond the rappers, and they're just doing some of the things outside of the music industry. What they do in the neighborhood, they do it to each other and they do it to people at the gas station, to try to steal something or the Walmart parking lot,
Okay.
part of the culture.
Well, we got to do something about that. These kids are dying. It's just I
agree.
It's a fad, and we got to do something about it. I don't know whether they think they all going to rappers heaven or something when they die. What the hell?
He made a story about it. He made a song about that.
Yeah.
Rappers heaven.
They must think they're going to rappers heaven. Well, we got a special guest that's about to come on as soon as I see she's popped on, but I don't see a picture. So as soon as she pops her picture up, we're going to have a special guest, and that special guest is this lady right here. Special guest is this lady right here.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Savannah's
promise. She's Savannah's promise, y'all.
And Julius, before she comes on, can I plug my show?
What's your show, man?
Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt her. So tomorrow night, some of you guys may know I co-host the show Two Therapists and a Microphone with Dr. Aisha Dickerson. And tomorrow night we're going to talk about racial and gun violence here in the country. There's a lot of things going on. It feels like it is a season. We're in a season of violence right now. A lot of people are hurting. Our community is hurting. So we're going to talk about that with two special guests. We have the president of the American Counseling Association, Dr. Kent Butler, and the president of the American Mental Health Counselors Association, Dr. Beverly Smith. They're going to come on. They're both Black, and we're going to talk about what's going on and hopefully try to come up with some suggestions on what we can do. So that's a good tie-in to what we were just talking about. So that's tomorrow night, Thursday at 7:00 p.m. live here on the Our Black Media Network. Check us out.
Dog, I've been trying to get in touch with y'all. I'm glad that you're on.
We're here.
But because I sent an email one time and I didn't never hear anything. But hey, I'm forgiving. But
I didn't get an email from you.
Why do y'all only do like 30 minutes?
Well, they're an hour now.
Oh, okay. Because back then it was like 30 minutes, and I
can answer that. I can answer that now. Aisha and I, we started this about 3 years ago, well before the pandemic. We were doing audio only, and we both have families. We have full-time jobs, and we have kids. So when we came back, because we stopped during the pandemic, we came back to relaunch the show, and I was hooked up with Julius. I'm very happy to be here. It's just we wanted to get back into it a little easy because it requires a lot of work, and sometimes I'm just now sitting down and do the show coming from my job, and I make it here. I have like 10 minutes to get ready. So we just wanted to ease into it a little bit slower.
Oh, okay. Give me that email address again, because I'm going to resend my email.
Okay, Harrison at twotherapists.com. That's TWO therapist with an S.com. Yeah, Harrison at Two Therapists. We also have a feature on the show where you go to our website, twotherapists.com. You click on Ask Two Therapists. You can ask your question anonymously about your dilemma, your situation. And we've done that too. I get it. It's anonymous. And we talk about it and give you some feedback and guidance on how to handle the situation. We've had quite a few people doing that, and we appreciate those things. We're going to answer you from a clinical perspective, but from a much more of an urban and Black perspective. We understand, some of the lifestyles and the situations that people are in. We're not going to ask a whole bunch of questions. We're not going to be confused about it, just like the topics that we talked about tonight. But we encourage people to continue doing that and asking the questions. If you want to hear from 2 Black therapists about your situations, and we got some doozies coming in too. But send me your email.
Yeah, I'm going to. And you said Harrison at 2therapists.com.
Yeah, TWO therapist with an S.
Oh.
Yeah, and Harrison, when you start getting those darn emails where you wondering, who is this woman? Who is this person? This person needs some help. This person is going to be Sandra now.
I go to therapy every Monday because I'm big on mental health.
Good for you. Say it again. Tell all those Black folks out there listening.
Yes,
say it again.
I am big on mental health, but my therapist, she is Mexican, so she's from a different culture, and
that's okay.
I want to get a different perspective.
Gotcha. Well, you can be a guest on the show to talk about your situation too. Dr. Aisha is she's a little gangster, I
love it.
But we do understand. When I have my clients tell me about the situations and what's going on, I know exactly what they're talking about. I don't have to ask a million questions. I don't have to look at you like I'm confused, describing the situation between you and your 2 baby mamas, and your situation at work and how you got pissed off at somebody. I'm not condoning it, but at least I understand it, So send me your question, or even come on the show and talk about whatever's going on. We're going to help you out.
Cool. I would love to. Yeah. So is Kesha coming on?
Yeah, I kept talking.
Her now. She's in the studio, but I guess she must be getting ready. Secret Service might be bringing, prepping her, getting her ready for the come on. I don't know.
From what I've been hearing, they might have to get her ready. Shoot. They might have to put her in hiding after a while.
But she ain't gonna hide from nobody now.
I'm just saying. Shoot. Kesha is on it. That's my question. That is my question. That's one of my.
Alderwoman Gibson Carter, if you're listening, we're waiting on you. And you can
there she is. Hey, Sarah.
You muted. You muted. You still muted.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Savannah.
Hey.
Hello, Sandra.
Hey,
hello,
lady.
Dr. Harrison. Hello, Mr. Hall.
Hello. What's going on?
Listen, today is a huge day in the life of the campaign to elect Kesha Gibson Carter as the 68th mayor of Savannah. But what I want to frame and let everyone know that this campaign is not about me. This campaign is about the citizens of Savannah. I declare that I would sign up to be a servant of the people today. But, that signature on the dotted line was, for me, much more. It was the commitment of my family. For years, I have served the city of Savannah, almost 30 to be exact, from every capacity, from youth who were vulnerable and members of gangs to seniors who were nutrition insecure to victims of rape and child molestation, community mobilization and organization, and serving the homeless families with children for a decade. The totality of that work was not possible without the support of my husband and my children. So today was symbolic. I announced my candidacy. I declared, my candidacy for the 68th mayor of Savannah on June 8th, on 6/8. It was important for me to do that because 68 is symbolic. It is symbolic in that it denotes meaningful relationships, friendships, and a dedication to family. But my declaration today was to acknowledge the decades long of meaningful relationships and my commitment to the city of Savannah. I offer myself once more to service. Why, some ask? In 2019, the electorate sent a resounding message to all sitting city officials. They stated that no more did they want investment in brick and mortar. No more would we engage in status quo politics. No more are we interested in business as usual. And in short order, the electorate voted nearly an entire council out and ushered a new one in. And I came in with the spirit of which the electorate sent me, only to arrive and see that the powers that be were against what they sent. And so, what I want you to know, I am not career driven where politics is concerned. You see, in 2019, I got off of my sofa after licking my wounds and ran for public office for the first time, having no interest ever in politics. You should know that I abhor politics, which is why I have such a tough time. I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician. For nearly 30 years, I've invested in helping those who experience the worst hurt that the citizens of Savannah experience. And there is no way that I can sit idly by and watch while I see the resources that are not only afforded to them, but that are there for them, and not advocate for them to receive such resources. So I'm not running against any one person. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have an opponent in this race. I am running to give that gold dome a home, and that home is for the residents of Savannah. We inherited a myriad of issues related to crime, poverty, homelessness, forced displacement, and it has only increased on the watch of a supermajority African American council. And I have said time and time again that it's not enough to simply be Black and be in office and to make people proud. It is important for a person to be in office and serve all people so that we all rise. There is a saying that when the big ship comes in, the whole tide rises. Savannah, I'm here and ready to make waves for you to ride. And we are going to ride this campaign, this election season, all the way into a victory. By God, I am encouraged and I'm so excited about this victory. Today was Declaration Day, Mr. Hall. And as you know, as a political professional, it's an important day because today means that I can officially start to accept donations for my campaign.
And there go Bernard saying that he's giving $500 right there.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And as an elected city servant, I want you to know that as Alderwoman at Large for Post 1, this job pays $25,000 a year. After taxes and everything else that's taken out, I probably bring home under $1,000 a month. I'm not in it for the money. When I answer the phone, when I respond to an email, when I return a text, when I show up at an event or host an activity, I'm literally losing money. I'm taking money from my home. My household used to run on 4 paychecks. And due to some maneuvering and trying to force me out, my husband was forced out of his job at Savannah College of Art and Design of 20 years. And here I am today using resources from his account to fight for Savannah. And I have no regrets, and neither does he. Our track record speaks for itself. We know, just as we went down and declared our candidacy for election today, I've never seen so much security at City Hall. You would think that I was the next Unabomber of sorts. And we want to say in that regard that our sentiments are to the hearts of those individuals who have lost loved ones due to senseless gun violence. But back to Savannah. We do not want her to be the next victim of anything. But we do want the citizens of Savannah to know that she is poised. She is poised to be the city who generates the most money for Georgia, only second to Atlanta. The city who has the largest police department, only second to Atlanta. We must start representing for the people whose backs Savannah is built on, and not only for those who benefit from Savannah. It is high time that the winners no longer take all. We no longer want to glorify the historic Savannah, but we want to give her back to all of Savannah. We desire to be a leader who will unify. We desire to be a leader who will offer integral services. You know, right now, in the 2.5 years that I've been in office, we've had 4 city managers. That's a testament to leadership. In addition, we have on our watch experienced high crime, higher numbers in homelessness, higher numbers in forced displacement, higher numbers in street crime and gun violence. The only thing low about this administration is morale. Morale among our staffers. Why do you talk about this? We talk about this because those staffers are the individuals who serve the citizens of Savannah, who pay taxes. They pay for the services that they receive. Again, we're not coming to be punitive. We're not coming to offer mandates that are unreasonable. Essentially, we are coming to protect the coffers of Savannah, to say no more wasteful spending, no more nepotism and cronyism. And ultimately, we want to protect and preserve the culture of Savannah. We cannot be a part of desecrating land like the Weeping Time. We cannot be responsible for desecrating communities like Olympus. We cannot be responsible for breaking promises to the 5th District where the fairgrounds are concerned. We must be good stewards of the West Chatham community. And I am your candidate. I am your candidate who can do it all.
Okay, we know you can do it all.
Today, there's no other reason why I shouldn't be somewhere under a rock covering my face. I should be under the cover sucking my thumb. I should be at some institutional smoking cigarettes and picking butterflies off the wall. But here I am, the candidate who has been delivered lemons from the media. Mr. Hall, Mr. America, Chandra, Mr. Harrison, what do you do when you've been given lemons?
Make lemonade.
You run from there.
And sip lemonade.
Well, we know you're gonna make some sweet lemonade, and we can tell that you have a passion to serve the people. A lot of people in that election, when you came in before, were they traded sides and they sold out. But you have been true to form with all the promises you made. You've kept them. People think that it's something wrong with your type of governance, but they don't understand that they've never had nobody fighting for them. Mm-hmm. This is what true leadership and advocacy looks like. But they don't understand it because it's never happened to them.
Yeah.
So they don't know it. It's foreign to them. The body is rejecting it. The mind.
And you know, and to that point, Mr. Hall, and I'll try not to interrupt you anymore tonight. I want to put a pin in what you said. I want people to Google or look up the definition of gaslighting. Google or look up the definition of narcissist. And it will describe our entire administration and leadership. If you look at the landscape of what we have in Savannah, I'm going to poll you. I don't know you, Mr. Davis, but I know Chandra and I know Mr. America. I'm going to give you a test. What are the two most vulnerable and underserved districts in Savannah? What are the two most vulnerable districts in Savannah? What are the two most high crime areas in Savannah by way of districts for the municipality? Really quickly, tell me what they are.
5th district and the 2nd district.
5th is right.
And the 3rd district. But
I'm looking for one more answer.
It's the 1st.
The 1st. Is that the 1st district that's right there in West Savannah? Is that considered the 1st district?
Yes,
oh,
ma'am.
Okay.
The 1st and the 5th district. The 1st and the 5th district.
Yeah.
And so here's what I want. I am so sincere. And here's where I start and stop, Mr. Hall. And I know you are an individual who you want to see me win.
Yeah.
I was about to say I don't live in Savannah, but the vibe and the energy that I get from you sounds really good. I agree with Julius. You sound like a wonderful advocate. You know, hopefully, can I drive from Atlanta down to Savannah and vote for you?
You have to register first.
Yeah.
I get a little choked up, figuratively and emotionally, when I think about this, because Chandra, it says to me just how much people have been misled. And as I think about when I got up off of my sofa in May of 2019, after being encouraged by one of my former board members of the Rape Crisis Center, Miss Gwen Glover. I'm going to call you out, ma'am, because you're responsible for this. And she said to me, you should run for public office. And I thought, no, I should not. I abhor politics and politicians. Because I, as an executive director of a nonprofit organization, worked tirelessly, clamored for government, for individuals to contribute to charities that I ran. And there is no way I'm going to be advocating for people to give to campaign for billboards and political signs and TV advertising. I'm not going to do it. That's just not what I'm going to do. It just didn't make sense to me. And so in short order, I understood the political structure to the extent that when you sign up as a political servant, when you go forth with a spirit of altruism, it is highly important. One, that broke people don't enter politics. Now, I ain't rich and I'm very close to broke, but if you don't have a firm grasp of who you are and whose you are, you can quickly lose that sense of altruism when it comes to what you said you signed up for. And in that regard, As I went forth in 2019, I simply set out to do what I've been doing for Savannah for decades. Instead of reactively, it would be proactively, from a spirit of preventing those issues that I have been working on the front lines of for many years. And so here we are at the table, and I arrived with a set of individuals who ran with me, who said the same thing: rah, 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 year, term limits, impact fees, no more brick and mortar, no more status quo, only to see that now their voting record matches their donor dollars. In 2019, my opponent outraised me almost 101. The opponent raised nearly over $200,000, and I barely raised 20. And that's the symbolism of me announcing and declaring on June 8th. This job that I currently work barely pays $25,000 a year. That's the stipend. Again, I think I said at the top of the show, I lose money doing this work. The job of mayor is supposed to on the books, it's only supposed to pay $50,000 a year, but your current mayor gets far more than that due to some maneuvering and some shady shenanigans. And so I do not intend, I can, because I'm really good. I do not intend to raise a boatload of money for an office that pays $50,000 a year. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to be a great contender, because money doesn't vote. People vote. And so for all of those who would be looking at this campaign as a jackpot, kudos to you. My current, the person who currently occupies this office has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars already. And you have to ask the question, what is your motivation? What is your motivation for raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for a job that barely pays $50,000 a year? What is your motivation for continuously voting on items on our current agendas of people who have contributed to your campaign? Leaders of nonprofit organizations who have contributed to your campaign. Citizens of Savannah, I want to make that gold dome your home. My goal only, Mr. Hall, my only goal, my sole purpose, Ms. McKeithen, is to give the coffers of Savannah back to her citizens. And in giving the coffers of Savannah back to her citizens, we will reduce crime. We will tackle homelessness. We will reduce poverty. We will provide support to small and marginalized businesses. We will be good stewards to our youth. We will be responsible and hold accountable the public housing development officials. We will protect and serve the police officers who we expect to protect and serve the citizens of Savannah. We will win.
All right. We got only a few minutes left, and I want to know if any of the Bernard, you got any questions, or Dr. Harrison? I mean, Dr. Davis, Sandra.
No, I want to say this. I popped in a little late because I got a big Nike basketball tournament heading to Florida. But I want to say this here, and I'm talking to the people, community in Savannah. It's about leadership, not likership. It's time for a change. It's time for Kesha Carter to become the new mayor of Savannah. It's time to move on. It's time to build back something that we have truly lost in Savannah. And if I could vote, I will vote for her, but she know for a fact I'm one of her biggest fan. And stop picking and choosing and listen to her, because at the end of the day, Savannah, Georgia, she got you. She got you.
All right. Sandra, you got anything?
Thank you.
I did have one question, and it was, what do you say to the people in Savannah that state that because this is what I'm hearing in the streets, that since you've been on the council, that there's been a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff going on, disruption, so to speak, going on. And what would be their motivation to vote for you?
I would like to say I won before and I will win again. The opinion of others is not my business. My business is for the people of Savannah who I represent. I have no excuses for those who are sanitized in the sanctity of their false security. If the demography of Savannah changes to where they don't need the advocacy and the passion and compassion of a Kesha Gibson Carter, Miss McKeithen, I will bow out gracefully. I am signing up for service. Again, ma'am, I'm not taking the rides in a private jet. I don't do the dinners at the Chatham Club. I don't have the lease account at the Mercedes or the BMW dealership. I am signing up for service. And if that's not enough, I'm not going to kill myself, and I'm not going to give myself to those who are not paying attention to what they don't have. Because if that is the case, they don't need what I'm advocating for. But if the majority of Savannah are those individuals who care about the people who don't have, and if the majority of Savannah is not those people who need what I'm advocating and fighting for, they don't need a Kesha Gibson Carter. You see, this is not a glamorous job for me. I don't show up for makeup and fancy attire. I show up for service. This ain't what it looks like. And so people should know that you sent a servant to a gunfight with a butter knife, and I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm not making any apologies for how I do it and how I survive in it.
Well, okay. To me, you have my vote, and I just want you guys to know that in Kesha Carter, you guys are really getting a dynamic woman. Yeah. I mean, she's a dynamic woman. She's a dynamic woman of God. Mm-hmm. And, she even crosses borders, because all the way over here in Houston, Texas, she has been my advocate, for the last several months, doing things, for me, that is behind the scenes and not even being asked. She just knew that there was a need, and she just stepped in and she said, Chandra, let me help you, and that is what an advocate does, so please go out, tell your friends, that somebody knew that sign that she had on Victory and Bull back in 2019 saying not for sale, she's still not for sale.
All right. Anything, because we got 2 minutes. Harrison, you got anything before we go?
Very quickly, I'm outside of Atlanta, and we have a new mayor. He's trying his best. I like him, wish him the best. But one of his promises with the crime in Atlanta was to recruit, I believe it was 250 police officers for the city of Atlanta, and we have a big shortage of police officers with APD, and it's affecting the crime and the amount of crime. Not in Savannah, but I've heard from Julius things sound like they're a lot similar. What are your ideas about the police force in Savannah and fighting crime to reduce crime in Savannah?
Well, that's easy. If you look at our last survey, it shows that we have a deficiency in leadership in the City of Savannah Police Department. We are bleeding more police officers than we are recruiting. We have to stop that bleed. In addition, we have a lot of healing to do within the City of Savannah. As I said at the top of the show, if we expect police officers to protect and serve the citizens of Savannah, we as leaders should be in position to protect and serve our police officers. What does that look like? That looks like giving them the appropriate training and tools that they need to do their jobs. That means putting them in the proper places where they will be seen as a support and not a threat. Our City of Savannah Police Department is disrespectfully unmatched with the population of Savannah. Savannah is over 50% African American, and our police department barely matches half of that. Why does that matter? It matters because it matters. In addition to that, we do not want our police officers to be put in positions where not only their life will be jeopardized or the life and safety of our citizens will be jeopardized. We do not want to put our police officers where their freedom will be jeopardized, where their lives will be jeopardized. That's the first thing. Second, we must engage in community policing. Right now in the city of Savannah, there are limited relationships established between the police department, their personnel, and the citizens of Savannah in our various districts. There are 6 of them. I can't say that the district representatives in each of those districts know 6 police officers. We have a problem. It is important. Mr. Hall, you know why that's important. It's important because not only will you be able to establish relationships and be in position to get intel, you will be in position to actually prevent crime. This isn't about capturing people and capturing crime. Community policing is about preventing crime. In addition, right now, if you were to survey and pull the logs of the last 30 days of police reports, you will see that those police reports are following issues related to homelessness, issues related to poverty, issues related to domestic violence, issues related to juvenile crime. All of those